Hello, Saad. Thank you for joining me today for this interview. My name is Sara Zahid, and I'll be leading our discussion. This research is part of my user engineering course at Harvard Extension School, where I'm exploring usability and user interactions with whale tracking applications. Your insights are valuable in improving user experience, and I really appreciate your time. This interview should take about 20 to 30 minutes. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, we'll start with a few questions about your experience and expectations when using whale or animal tracking applications. Then we'll dive into specific usability aspects and features. There are no right or wrong answers. I'm just here to gather your genuine thoughts to help refine future designs. Please share your honest feedback.
Sure.
Okay, next we're going to fill out the confidentiality part. With your permission, I'd like to record the session for internal review purposes only. The recording will remain confidential and won't be shared beyond this research and project team, which includes the professors and TAs. Is that okay with you?
Yep, that works.
Okay, also just to confirm, have received and signed the participant and agreement form, correct?
That's right.
Okay, do you have any questions?
Nope.
Awesome. We'll go ahead and get started then. Um, First of all, it would be nice if you could briefly tell us a thing or two about you. What do you do for a living? What does your typical weekday look like?
Sure. I'm Saad. I'm Saad Jani. I work at Amazon as a junior software engineer. A typical weekday for me looks like going to work in the morning. Um, I primarily work on back-end designs, but some of my work also includes front-end uh, front-end engineering. But I don't work on the user experience side of it because by the time that we get to spec, the user experience side has already been fleshed out.
Thank you for sharing that. Next, we'll move on to the actual interview process. So I have shared with you a link to my prototypes for UI Package 1 and UI Package 2, as well as a task script for both prototypes. If you could go through the task list from 1 to 10 for each prototype, and then as you're going through them, please walk us through what's going on, what you feel is intuitive, what you might be struggling with, and any thoughts you might have on the design in general.
Sure. Should I get started?
Yes, please.
Cool. So task one is use the timeline feature to view past eco sign sightings and select the date September 12th, 2024 to explore which whales were spotted throughout that day. Timeline feature. Um, feel like there should be a no, not quite. Feel like there should be a button that shows the timeline. If I click on one of these whales.
I think this is where I might um, put my little 2 cents and say that the timeline feature is not actually visible through the main screen. So I will definitely make a note of that right now.
Okay.
And if there's any feature that you are really struggling with finding or that you'd feel like is not available at all, let me know and we'll move on to the next task and I'll make a note of it.
Okay. Um, it's, I mean, you go here, not what I need. Oh, tracker maybe? Not quite. Yeah, there's no real like timeline. Um,
So yeah, for
what
this,
would be helpful would be
Mhm.
kind of maybe a timeline object going across the screen or something where, yeah.
Got it. Okay, thank you. And you can move on to task two whenever you feel like you're done with task one.
Okay. So I wasn't able to figure it out, but I'll move on to task two. Find and analyze tracking data for the whale eco who has been tagged for research. So I'd already clicked on this, and there's tracking data right here. So tagged for research. Well, there's tracking data, so I think that pretty much. Oh, I actually see a live data. Oh, I guess this would be the timeline, huh?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty
Necessary.
embedded into the user
Yeah,
flow.
right.
Okay. Well, that completes task one and two, I think.
Yep.
Task three, review available whale watching excursions and determine the best option based on whale activity levels. Whale watching excursions. I think there was this right here. And determine the best option based on whale activity levels. So live whale sightings. Click on that. Alex. Oh,
Yep, there might be a glitch over there. I'm not sure what you
okay.
clicked to get that glitch, but I gotta make a note.
Okay. Um, learn by whale. Be this one.
So the whale
No,
watching
that's the shop.
excursions were the trips, the type of trips that you can choose. Uh,
Oh,
However, I don't think that the whale sighting live tracker link is working correctly, so you can probably skip this part and move on to the next one.
okay. Okay. Um, all right. So stat task number four is track a current whale watching trip in progress and view which whales have been sighted live during the live tour. So I think that would be this button right here, actually. Live whale sighting.
Yeah, I think task three and
Uh,
four both are glitching. I'll have to like take a look at that.
oh, should I be clicking flow number two for this?
So that's completely up to you. If you are able to navigate from the main navigation system, that's great. Otherwise, you can go through flow one, two, three for based on each story.
I see. Okay, let me try this one. See if, oh, same thing. Okay. Yeah, I don't think those two links are working. But this was pretty intuitive. Like, given the task, it was pretty intuitive to navigate to either one of these two buttons. I think if the two buttons navigated to the right screen,
Right.
would have been able to complete those tasks.
Okay, perfect. That's good to know.
Cool. Moving on to task number five. Use the 3D whale model to examine a specific part of a killer whale's anatomy and explain its function. Yeah, I remember seeing that right here. Oh, explore 3D view.
Okay.
Five
I'm
buttons
gonna
to
pause
explore.
right there. So if you could go to the back button and tell me why you clicked Learn Whale Anatomy over the 3D view.
Um, because the task said examine a specific part of a killer whale's anatomy, so I think I did like keyword matching.
Right. So
A
if you
whale's anatomy.
without the task list, if you were to just open this application and you were specifically looking to examine a whale's anatomy and you did not know or expect to find a 3D view of the anatomy, where would you click first? The buttons, the card buttons where it says Learn Whale Anatomy, or the big button where it says Explore 3D View?
Yeah, I think I would click the learn whale anatomy button first because that's the keyword that I'm looking for.
Gotcha.
What would be helpful for the 3D view is maybe if there's a preview of the 3D view that covers most of the screen,
Right.
and then there's like smaller cards on the bottom with like the extra text that's over here, or these cards. That would be more helpful in knowing that there's a 3D view available.
Got it. Okay. And also just to quickly point out is that I have designed the 3D male whale model viewer, but I there's like actual no model in there because since this is a low fidelity prototypes and wireframe, so you're just kind of going to have to pretend that there's a 3D model there, if that makes
Okay,
sense. Okay.
sure. All right, so I think that completes task five.
Yep.
Six is find and learn about the killer whale's lifespan, threats, region, and size by navigating the educational content. So I think that's where I would navigate to one of these cards. It says killer whale, so I look for killer whale. Okay, that's not clickable, but I think that's where I would find um, lifespan, threats, region, and size by yeah,
Hmm. Correct.
yeah, cool. That completes task number six. Task number seven is browse the shop and explore different souvenir collections, including clothing, accessories, and marine life themed products. Yeah, this one's pretty intuitive. It's got a shopping bag on there.
Right. Perfect.
Um, And then I guess I could click through some of these filters, souvenirs. Yeah. Yeah, those are filters, so it would filter out the cards. Yeah, I think that's
Backtrack really quickly. Sorry, back to task number 6, and I'm going through my notes, and there should be a link on killer whale that actually leads you to the specific killer whale anatomy. If you could try,
oh,
yeah,
that worked that time.
yeah, that's what
It
I
didn't
was
work the first
wondering
time.
why it wasn't connected. Okay, perfect.
Okay, nice. Size and body shape, black and white pattern. So my task was killer whale's lifespan, and I'd probably find that right here. Threats, region, size. Only get size, and I guess you get to see more as well.
Yep,
Yeah,
perfect.
I like this card layout where it's separated by section instead of just a whole paragraph. So I like an overview, and then I could click these cards to get more views. Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
nice.
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Cool. So moving on to task 7. I think I completed task 7 earlier as well. Marine lifting products. So moving on to task 8, review the order details and proceed to checkout. Okay, so I would probably buy something. Um,
Once again, this is a very low fidelity prototype, which is why there's
okay. I
not a
see.
lot of clickables.
Okay. So then I would add it to cart and then proceed to checkout. I think that's pretty intuitive as well.
Awesome. That's what I'd like to
Yeah.
hear. Okay.
But then if I could go back here, would I be able to see like what's inside my cart? Maybe there should be a cart icon up here that
Um,
shows how many items you have in there in your cart.
And one other question is, so a cart would be mandatory, and another thing is a liked objects. Like, is that something you would, is that a feature you would use as well? Like a liked, for instance, backpack or a bracelet that you enjoyed?
A what? What a what object?
A liked list. So think,
Oh, a liked list.
Mhm.
Personally, I don't think it would be of much use. I know there's these features on like other shopping apps. I've never used it.
Got it.
So
Okay.
to me, I know what I would be searching for, so I would look for exactly that and then just go add it to cart.
Makes
But
sense.
yeah, I feel like it would a like list might even add clutter, but that's a personal opinion, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Thank you.
Cool. So moving on to task 9, select two whales and compare their migration routes using the tracking data analysis feature. All right. I do remember where the tracking data analysis feature was. That was this, and it said compare two whales and their tracking data analysis feature. It's,
Oh, this is great. Okay, so this is giving me information that people would directly go to the map view to get that, but instead, if you could go inside the ecos, so click on the eco wheel, there we go, and then go into its information, scroll down to the tracking data,
oh, compare and analyze. Okay.
there we go.
But oh, okay, I could compare it to others. Well, I guess what threw me off there was I think that would have been intuitive if I was able to click on some of these other whales as well to know that this is the same view that I get.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think it makes sense. I was just thrown off by the other whales not
Makes sense.
working.
Right.
Yeah. And then this is pretty nice, but um,
Oh, this
maybe
is great.
instead of this, maybe there should be like some kind of label here that says compare.
Okay.
Because while this is nice UI, might not be 100% intuitive. So I guess I could compare it to.
So only Eco and Orion are the clickable ones right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. It's actually pretty cool. Can I zoom out on this map and see? Well, it's
Unfortunately,
low
no.
fidelity, right?
Yeah,
Okay. All right, Eco and Orion. Well, I should be able to see both of them at the same time since I'm comparing.
got it.
Or, oh, okay. Well, the data is different, so maybe not.
But you intuitively would prefer to see both maps, sorry, both tracking lines on one map, correct? In one view.
Yeah, it would be nice to maybe like one of the whales had a certain color on it and the other whale had a different color.
Got it.
And
Okay.
then a side by side of this data would maybe be too cluttered, but it could be like a pull-up. I don't know. Maybe I'm suggesting a bit too much.
Oh no, this is great. As advanced as you can make it, as intuitive as I can get for my application, that'd be perfect.
Okay, cool. I think that completes task number 9. Task number 10, find the population, biology, and conservation research initiative linked to eco and read about how tracking data is used to support conservation efforts. Well, this seems like I'll just have to click right here. And then,
Okay, I'm probably gonna stop you right there because it's nested pretty deep. But if you could go back to the tracking card,
uh,
and then there's three tabs at the very top. There's live data, there's current sighting, and research. So all, if you can click on those, it should lead you to the research tab.
I like this card. Okay. Yeah, but research, I don't think is clickable.
It should be clickable. Do you mind refreshing flow too?
Or maybe I'll go to flow 5
I
since
think that
that's
might
what.
be better. Oh, interesting. Okay. Could you try now if it works? Go back to flow 5.
Oh, that worked.
Ah, there we go.
Okay. Cool. Um,
So
yeah,
this is
this is
as
not very
high
intuitive
level
at
as it
all.
can get. There's actually no publications inside because I cannot use other people's data, but this would be the design view of of like the research initiatives.
I
Is
see.
that
So
intuitive enough?
what was that?
Sorry, is that intuitive enough? Or how hard, how easy was it to find it?
So the task says find the population biology and conservation research initiative linked to eco. I think the like the screen is not too intuitive, as in I wouldn't know that I will find conservation research initiatives on this page. It seems more like research related to just any
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, like maybe if there's a description, like a little description right here that says scientists are actively working on conservation efforts related to killer whales or whales in general, and then it told you those publications are related to those
Right.
conservation efforts, that would be more useful. But again, it might just be because that information has been lost in the low fidelity mockup.
Right. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
but just in general, this tab is pretty deeply nested, and I don't think research is directly linked to tracking data. So I feel like research could even be like on the bottom, like a tab over here.
Right. Right.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And then we'll move on to prototype number 2. And same exact setup. If you could go from task 1 to task 10 in order, and then give me your honest feedback.
Sure. All right. Write a
Uh,
set of tasks.
Sorry, let me
Hmm.
give you a really quick intro, basically. So both of them are for one application, but two very different design aspects for both of them. So some things might seem the same as UI package 1, but for the most part, they will be a little bit different.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Find the most recently recorded sighting of Orion and note its last known location. All right. So do full map. Oh, okay. Nice. Um, that's Orion. I like that
Hmm.
because I could see the whole map.
Nice.
And then it has compare on it. That's way more intuitive than what there was earlier, where I had to go into the tracking app. But that's not my task. So it says
So
most
actually,
recent.
like I said, since this is low fidelity, if you could go back to the home screen.
Hmm.
Sorry, the home screen is up at the very top. There we go. This is supposed to be a rotatable and a 3D model of the of the world, and each navigation point on the world is actually a whale.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually pretty neat.
Okay. So it's not that clear because it's low fidelity, but with colors and with imagery, it might be a bit more clear.
makes sense. And maybe like a live animation of the globe slowly moving, so
Right,
it gives a
right.
hint that it's live. Okay, but that makes sense. Um, cool. So it says, yeah, this is pretty intuitive. So it says I need to find sighting of Ryan and note its last. Okay. Maybe I should go updates, or I'll go learn more, or okay. It doesn't seem like these buttons are clickable,
No, they're not.
but
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, but okay. So that brings me back here, and then um, oh, okay, nice. But was there a list map? That doesn't seem like actually related. I mean, the tag should be better. Should be more like details or timeline or something like that.
Sure.
But okay, I get to see where he was last spotted, and that's at 8 a.m.
It's actually the
at
very
the
top
line.
one. It should be on the very top one. The latest one updates the list. So March 17th, 8 a.m. would be like the latest one. But it seems you weren't really able to tell which one is the most recent, which one's the oldest one.
Oh,
Lighting.
this one's dated April 22nd, and this one's dated March 17th. So I was looking at the dates
Ah, gotcha.
based on that. Looks like that one's the latest.
We're
Although it would make more sense if it was like a stack view where the latest one was on the top and then
right.
and, yeah. But I
So
was looking
April
at the
hasn't
dates.
actually happened yet. We're still in March, which is why it's March 17th, and the previous April is from the year prior.
Okay.
But okay,
Yeah, if the time series data is going back a year, then maybe it should be
listed.
noted on. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. Find the most recently. All right, use the timeline feature to explore Orion's whale sighting data and track changes over time. Well, I think that's both tasks done. Use the booking system to schedule a whale watching trip for a specific date and time. Booking feature. Trip, learn, shop, probably trip. Okay. For a specific date, do I get to pick the date?
Wow.
Maybe there should be a calendar over here or like a filter where I could click on the date that I want to pick and
Gotcha.
filters by then. But okay, if I wanted to go in April, then I
Mhm.
could book Golden Gate and then I get the calendar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it would be nice to have stored by, but okay. Um, description, book dates. I think this is probably not working.
Yeah, it's an
Okay.
image.
Yeah, but this flow is really nice where I get to pick the date and then I get to pick how many people are going
Mhm.
um, and maybe that shouldn't be a downward symbol, that should be an upward symbol because I'm adding. That
Noted,
helps.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then cart. I'll probably see my cart and be able to check out. All right, so I think that's done.
Mhm.
Task number 4 is track a current/recent whale watching trip and view which whales have been sighted live during the tour. Mm, no, it would actually make more sense if it was in whale tracking.
Okay, so quick question. I'm actually going to have you skip this one really quickly, but after you answer the question is, why would you feel that you would see a recent or a whale watching trip or live sightings in under whale tracking navigation rather than if you click on the trip and there was probably a link there that says current a trip or like track current trip.
Well, it might be me misunderstanding the purpose of this app. So what I feel this app is for is it's a whale watching um it's a whale watching app or
Mhm.
a whale watching trip app. So it
Right.
shows you whale tracking, which is part of the whale watching experience, and then you get to go book a trip, and maybe if you want additional information, you get to go to learn and their shop. But if the app is for whale tracking, where people want to track specific whales, then it would make more sense where trips are an additional feature, and it's not the purpose of the app.
Correct. Your second take actually on it is more accurate, where it's a whale tracking application and whale trips are included so that people can get more exposure to the activity and to whale conservations.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, and it's a misunderstanding on my part of what the app is. Then it would make more sense to go into the trip and then be able to click like learn more on one of these and see which and be able to track when or what a specific tour saw
Hmm.
in the past little
Right, but
while.
this is very valuable data because this actually gives me exposure to how intuitive person to person or audience and user to users will feel. So if you feel like maybe there might perhaps it'll be a bit easier for you, someone who is not complete does not have exposure to this app or whale watching in general, to intuitively be like, hey, let's go to whale tracking, and there probably should be a link there that links to current trip. Is that correct?
Yeah, that links to
Okay,
book a trip.
got it.
Cool. Then I could skip to task number 5, which is use a 3D model to locate and learn about a humpback whale's anatomy, specifically the dorsal fin. 3D model. All right. Okay. Well, I guess I'm learning about the dorsal fin over here.
Right, correct.
Also, the home button's over here.
Uh-huh.
Intuitively, I feel like the home button should be on the bottom and the back button should be on the top because most of the UIs that I use or user experiences I use, the back button's on the top, and then the home is navigatable from at the bottom.
Got it. Okay.
But probably personal experience or personal preference there as well.
Right.
Cool. Moving on. Find and learn about the humpback whale's lifespan, threats, and population. Um, Probably same spot. Humpback whale. Yeah, threats, lifespan. Okay. That finishes task 6.
Sorry, I'm gonna
Um,
pause right there. Is for task number 5, where I had said humpback whale's anatomy, you jumped straight into the 3D model, but you weren't really able to locate the whale's anatomy, and I feel like that might have something to do with the navigation. Is that correct?
not quite. I think it's just because I assumed I would be able to learn about the whale's anatomy here.
Okay, so maybe like clickable points that lead to an article or about
Yeah,
your.
yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Task number 7, browse the shop and explore different souvenir collections. All right, well, this is pretty intuitive as well. And then I could go edit the customization. So task 8 is edit the customization settings for your selected souvenir and preview the final design before adding it to your cart. So there should be
So this is
customized
quite high
already.
level. So there the customization um page hasn't been created, but the icon is there, like the link to
Hmm.
it there.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty intuitive. If I was looking to customize something, or even if I was browsing here, I would probably see the customize button and click it.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. Task number 9, track the number of sightings and pings of a specific whale over the last 3 months and determine if any environmental factors are influencing its movements. Pings of a specific whale over the last 3 months. Okay, so there was a timeline view already that we saw. Um, and there's tasks where you could filter by that. But then see whether there's any environmental factors that are influencing its movements. I'm not actually sure where I would look for
It's,
that.
that too is listed under learn, but I'm not gonna have you go through the nesting again. Um, okay, so there's not much correlation as I'm seeing you go through, not much correlation between the sightings tab and the learn tab or the research tab.
Yeah, I feel like those are two very distinct flows. I
Got
mean,
it.
yes, sighting should have all the data related to Orion
Uh-huh.
accessible, and learn should be if I want to learn more about whales or like generic, yeah, conservation or
Gotcha.
something.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, cool. Task number 10, find a recent peer-reviewed research report related to whale tracking data and verify the credibility. Now, this is where I would go to learn, and then I could go, well, maybe this is not where should I be seeing research
Oh,
related to
I
whale
don't think
tracking?
the humpback link is working because, yeah, if you click in and then you would be able to go through all of the information here. This is basically the research of
Oh,
each
okay.
whale species. You can also explore whale anatomy and then go in there and learn more.
Oh, cool. Oh, so this is actually what task number 5 was referring to. I would
Yeah,
have had to click into the anatomy and then look
exactly.
at the dorsal fin. I see. Well, maybe my previous going through the previous flow also um influenced like what my
Yeah.
expectations were because in the previous flow I was supposed to click Explore 3D view.
Mhm.
And I remember in the previous flow I intuitively actually clicked into one of the cards. So if I got this flow in the first task list, I would probably get it.
Makes sense, makes sense. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to cut this interview short because Zoom only gives me about 30 minutes of, free time to do my calls.
Sure.
But thank you for your time and all of your insights. I have one final question before we end is which flow did you feel was more intuitive as someone who's never used a whale watching experience? User prototype number one or prototype number two?
I think prototype number, wait, um, prototype number 2. Yeah,
Sure. And
I
why
like this one
why might
better.
that be?
So, just overall, like its flow is cleaner, where I could click on Orion and then I get more information instead of just being able to click on instead of having to click into Orion and seeing the whole detailed page and sifting through all of it.
Right.
Over here, I get like the gist, and then I'm able to click